his way in right now is Chief Russ Brooks, who, good morning, Chief.
Good morning.
How are
Good
you?
morning,
Good to see you.
Always good to see you guys.
So we might as well get right into it. We know that there's this investigation over improper behavior, I guess is what it's been called, with Marino and DeBrango, and it does seem like this is. I'm sorry, it just looks political.
It's Palmieri politics.
We're using an outside investigator who's, I'm told, somewhere around $300 an hour to investigate this situation. That's another element that we haven't really talked about. So if you're going to do that and you're the mayor, my guess is you don't want to get into your own spat at an event on Friday night, which is what happened. Obviously, we reached out to the mayor to get his side of the story, but you were in a bit of a spat with the mayor on Friday night. What happened?
I'll just comment on this other thing. Nothing could be more political. It's campaign season, and the mayor is spending tens of thousands, maybe more of dollars, trying to demean or throw some mud at his opponent, which is absurd. And it's so hypocritical because I personally have broken up fights with the mayor and other city officials and actually had to restrain them. I've been at a meeting when he slammed the table and broke a table at fire headquarters, and there's stories.
Did you witness these things?
I witnessed it. I was as close as we are right now. Okay, and the next day you turn on the television and the two individuals that are supposed to be the subjects of the investigation are smiling, got their arms around. There's no, it's just hypocritical.
So tell us what happened. I'm told that at one point people had to separate the two of you.
No,
that is not true.
No, that is not true. No.
Okay, so
I mean, see, I think observers, when they see something like, and I don't know, Chief, correct me if I'm wrong. Did people come over and say, "All right, guys, take it easy," or did you guys totally hash it out yourself? Because people coming over, then people will say, "Oh, people had to get in between them and separate them," right? So
there's a difference between physical restraint and
it's probably different. Did people come over and intervene, or did you guys talk it out?
I think people wanted to avoid.
Okay.
Being
I've been
part
in
of that
uncomfortable moment. Like,
confrontation. Why would somebody, as a matter of fact, during the exchange we had with Palmieri and Bill Borrow was with him. Of course, he couldn't go to the men's room without bringing an attorney with him. Okay.
Is it true that he requested Bill Burrow to come over during this?
I don't know if he gave him a high sign or not.
Okay,
but
he came
Bill,
over.
I'm sure Bill could read the writing on the wall and knew that his job is to get over there and be part of this with the mayor. So basically, I don't even know how the discussion started. No, my wife was there. She was sitting in a chair with a friend of hers, and they were talking. And I was trying to be on my good behavior. And something you've got to keep in mind too is the city sent me to 3 of these sensitivity classes.
Right.
So I'm.
So you're a sensitive. You're a kinder,
so I'm not quite as
more gentle. Chief
yeah,
Brooks.
sometimes I have flashbacks.
Okay,
But
well.
I do pretty good.
So,
and I was getting close to having one.
Okay. Now, how heated did this get?
Well, it was intense, and he waves his hands, and, I was worried about getting poked in the eye, and I told him, put your hands down, and that. And Borrow trying to make sense out of it. But basically what it was, this is the campaign time of year, okay? And his method of campaigning is basically to hide, go out, cut some ribbons, take a bow here and there, and send out his team, people that serve at his pleasure, department heads throughout City Hall, especially the 10 attorneys that were over there that are offices next to his, to send them out and have them do his bidding, his dirty work.
Right.
And I referred to Borrow as a hitman, and he resented that. And one of the
You call him that on Friday night?
Huh?
Did you call him that Friday night?
I had called him that earlier.
Okay.
And and you said that's your job.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be representing the people in the city of Utica, and you're out there promoting Palmieri because he's your ticket for money.
Yeah.
And I had mentioned his compensation. He mentioned mine. Him and Armin Festine got on, went to the media, and they mentioned my compensation and sick days and all this. So I simply stated, and I don't think they like this, that Festine and Borrow get very generous salaries. They keep in mind they have private practices, full-time private practices. They, this is just mind-boggling. They're part-time workers.
Right.
Okay. They get $25,000 worth of health care plan for them and their families, and they're part-time workers, and they're in the retirement system. And they're talking about me getting paid, who's been there for 43 years. So they went through their diatribe and about this case to the media, and they just lied about everything. Just out. There's no way to say exaggerated, massage what the truth, the lawsuit. They lied.
Yeah.
And I confronted them on it.
Did you approach the mayor?
I'm not sure how that connection came. I was walking. I mean, we were at this event, and my wife and I, and they were there, the two attorneys, and the mayor, and I was, I'm not going out of my way to avoid anybody.
Right.
I have nothing to be ashamed of. They're the ones that should have their heads down, and but we crossed paths and the conversation started. And the first comment I remember him making is, "You got treated just like everybody else." And I said, "I've done this for 40 years. You're a liar."
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, ask Bill." I go, "Well, why would I ask Bill? He's your attorney." I mean, I'm not a complete idiot. And so we went back and forth, and I don't hold back. I don't have to, because I tell the truth. And I would take a polygraph test on anything I say. And they don't know. They couldn't tell the truth if they wanted to. They don't know what the truth is.
So you feel this was basically he's arguing his point. He's arguing why he fired
you. Well, he started out, but
Yeah.
there's no argument.
Right.
There's no, so eventually, and that's what ended it. But I will say this.
Yeah.
One of the comments they had made to the media was that this World Trade Center Health Organization that I hang my hat on, all you got to do is fill out a form, a blank. I said this to them. I said, you just lie through your teeth. I've been through numerous examinations, 2-hour examinations. They continually send us questionnaires with hundreds of questions on them. They analyze it. You doctor shopped and found the guy that made a decision before he even saw me.
Yeah.
Before he even physically examined me. But I'll say this, and I'm sure they're blowing smoke. I don't trust them as far as I could pick them up and throw them. That Borrow said to me, and this was kind of after the mayor left, and I'll probably get him in trouble, but I could care less. He said, "Russ, I'm going to relook at your medicals." I'm going to look at your medicals and see if there's anything in there, because this designation I want, it doesn't cost, the city would save money, even though they
said
lie.
that too? Borrow said that too?
He says, "I'm going to take another look at your medical." When I told him about the World Trade Center Health Organization, I mentioned that, then the Cleveland Clinic that rebutted the city's doctor and all these specialists and Leukemia Foundation and. So,
we're talking to Chief Brooks. There was an altercation on Friday night between Chief and the mayor.
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind when you say altercation, two 70-year-old people.
Yeah.
Okay. And I knew that sooner or later one of us would have to run to the men's room, and that would end it. But there were people that walked, like this one judge that's a very good friend of mine. I won't mention his name.
Yes, you can't mention the judge.
He kind of walked through the middle of it, and
it's like, ooh, I'm moving.
Scooted.
Yeah.
So it started with a conversation that you were having with Bill Borrell, and then the mayor kind of overheard
I'm not sure if Borrell, but Borrell's his go-to guy.
Right.
And as I said, and Borrell's mission right now is not to represent the people in the city of Utica. Okay, it's to do damage control and demean any opponents that the mayor might have to be out there. And that's his style. Even when he presents his budget, he brings in all these department heads, okay, and people that serve at his pleasure.
Yeah.
They get their talking points, and if they miss a cue, they could be gone the next day.
I want to ask you one final question on this. You know that the mayor has initiated this investigation of Marino and DeBrango.
Please.
Do you feel that what happened between the two of you has any similarity to what happened between DeBrango and Marino, or was one more intense than the other? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I wasn't there for this, and I don't know for a fact that this investigation is it directed directly at Marino, or is it, other council members? I just think it's a bunch of bunk.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've seen so many things happen.
I guess my question would be, if there's an investigation between DeBrango and Marino, should the mayor initiate an investigation between you and himself?
No, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
It's just absurd. Isn't that a conflict of interest? Spending tens of thousands of dollars of taxpayers' money on an investigation directed at your opponent over what?
I'll leave it at this. Your line about the 70-year-olds arguing might be the funniest thing I've heard in a long time. So
that was
for the record. So anything you want to add?
Well, can I just say that the incident between DeBrango and Marino happened in the council? What's that? I want to say the chambers, but it's actually the room behind the chambers. It's with a private meeting room. The other thing is, I'm interested to see where this investigation goes, because the stories that we got, okay, and I understand I'm repeating something I don't know is true, but this is what everyone told us. Marino, DeBrango got in an altercation. DeBrango headbutts Marino, right? That was the story that came out.
Right.
Well, then he would be the victim, wouldn't he? Marino?
Correct.
He didn't look like he, I saw him on television the next day, and they didn't look. He didn't look like he'd been headbutted.
Yeah.
But I guess what Jeff is saying,
I thought there'd be broken noses and black eyes.
And that's exactly what I thought.
I mean,
he must have missed if he tried to headbutt him. Because I thought broken nose too.
There'll be more on that coming, and I want to dig in more on that. But
there's video.
There is video. We might see the video.
Apologize if I held back.
You didn't.
You were always good at that, and I appreciate it.
Man.
Chief Russ Brooks, thank you as always. We'll break.